Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmana. In this verse, Atma means mind. Mind is our enemy and mind is our friend. When the mind is our enemy and the mind is our friend, so the mind is our enemy when the mind is not under control, and the mind is our friend when the mind behaves properly. I think you can keep it and get up. Good. Please go. You know why? I am feeling jealous. Everybody is looking at him and not at me. So, now relax. Let that person also go and sit somewhere else. You kindly go and sit in that side. You don't have to hear only from that. Narayana. So, when the mind is under control, what happens? And when the mind is not under control, what happens? Because mind is the source of all the solutions and mind is the source of all problems. Disturbed mind is the source of all problems and the undisturbed mind is the source of all solutions. Now this is the fundamental rule. So what do we have to do? One thing. Please close your mobile. So, this disturbed mind, how it creates problems, let us think. This is very important topic. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi has spoken on this. Mind cannot survive in the absolute present. For survival, mind has to either go the memory lanes of the past or the mind has to migrate in the future. This is the diet for the mind. The mind has to go either in the past or in the future. And that is why it is one of the most interesting observations. And if you are able to observe this phenomena, you will see spiritual practice is not done, it happens. See? We will have to zero struggle only if we become aware of this fact. Now for example, if you ask any person to tell about him, what he will or she will start. I am so and so, I was born in such and such place, then I did this thing and then I went there, then I migrated to India and then I came to Bombay and then I settled here, then I did this thing, then I did that thing and then now my children are settled. Now they told me, Papa, you go to Delhi, here the Bombay climate is very humid, it doesn't suit you, and therefore I am now sitting in the train and now I am going to Bombay along with you and you ask me a question, tell something about me, so I am telling. Then the moment that man comes in the present, he has nothing to talk. Observe this principle. So, within and without, when we keep on the past alive within, the without present is disrespected. Please understand this principle. When inside we are constantly referring to the past, we are disrespecting the external or outside present. And that is why we become misfits. See, for example, this is the thing, if you keep on observing, you will have a tremendous joy in your life. You can never get bored. All those who get bored and frustrated and depressed, they are not living in the present. Therefore, they are frustrated. So, one person is telling a story. When I went there, my pocket was taken away by some thief and I had no money and it was such a mess, a new place, and I didn't know what to do and I was in such a difficulty. But God is great. Somebody came and gave me some money and somehow I could come and I am here. Now he tells one story. Do you think other person will listen? Nothing. I'll tell you my story. I was in Germany, yes. And when I got down on the airport, there you require €1 to put into the card, then only you can take it out. And I had no euro coins. So I went to the vendor machine. There I put the 20-pound note, only the notes came, no coin. I don't know what to do, I was struggling. Then one porter, unknown to me, he came. He said, wait a minute. He took out €1 coin from his pocket, put it into that, took it out and told me, you take it now. So I gave him 5 pounds, he refused, no, you take it, it's okay. See, God is everywhere. So that person, he was telling his story. Do you think I am interested in his story? My story. What is the reason? The reason is, we all are constantly living on the wealth of the past. So when we live on the past, we disrespect the present. And that is why old people are misfit in the present time. See? We don't understand. Everybody is concerned about their future. Nobody is interested in our past. But what do we have? We have no future. We have already become old. And the youngsters have all the future. So there is a struggle. This is how, when we don't take care of this phenomena, that the mind can survive only on the food of the past memory. If we become aware of this fact, it should click once in life. And that is, never talk about our own past, nor ask anybody about their past. Then what will you talk? See, these days, too many accidents are happening on the road. Have you seen today's paper? See, I read newspaper every day, thoroughly, from page 1 to the end. And one person asked, Swamiji, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything, but normally Swamis don't read the newspapers. How come you read newspaper? I said, who told you I am a Swami? I read newspaper. No, I don't mean that, but normally the Swamis are always either reading the Bhagavad or Ramayana or Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita and all the time chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You are reading newspapers so intensely. What is the reason? Listen. I am telling you how to maintain the inside perfect. That is the topic. Don't forget. Don't get carried away by the stories. But what Swamiji told that they don't know. Stories were very good. So, see what happens. When I am reading the newspaper, in the time where I am in today, is it not? So what is the spiritual practice? Live in today. That's it. And when you read the newspaper report, there is nothing to learn. There is nothing to understand. There is nothing to contemplate. And there is nothing that can happen to you when you read newspaper. But then what happens? Time pass. We are all only doing one thing, but which we don't accept, that we are only passing time in this world. See, with this attitude, when we start living, the past will stop bothering us. And a person who doesn't have a past, he doesn't have a future. Future can exist with reference to the past alone. So when we don't have the past and the future, where do we live? We live in the present. And he who lives in the present is always happy. See? There is no tension, there is no worry. Therefore, friends, this is what again and again we have to understand, that our mind is making a fool of us. So when we know that our mind is making fool of ours, we have to be extremely aware. And what is the awareness with reference to mind? Mind will discover one or other technique by which we are not allowed to remain in the present. So either the past or the future. How about the future? Today only, just before coming, I received one phone call from Singapore. And that boy was telling, Swamiji, I don't know, my blood pressure is too much now. I said, is your wife giving you good food to eat? No, Swamiji, she never cooks at home. I only cook. Then what is the reason? I don't know. I am having tremendous pressure on my mind. See? Then I talked to his wife. I said, hey, what's your order? Swamiji, I am bindas. I am absolutely relaxed. I don't worry about anything. And this is what worries him. Why don't you worry? See? Therefore, whenever we are trying to solve the non-existing problems, we are going in the future. Two things. Therefore, uddhared atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadayet. All the spiritual practices focus attention on your own mind. So when we take care of within, without it automatically being taken care of. This is how our life is. Why do you play with that? Once you have stopped, please don't play. So, now reduce it. You have increased it for no reason. Now it is better. Yes. Is okay now? You can go and sit there. So you will not play. Because when the buttons are there, it is difficult to control. So you control the buttons. There is no need. Unless you are not interested in listening. Therefore, this is how our mind works. See, everything is going on it. I think, what do you think? Don't think. The other day, I had about 100 cassettes, my talks on Patanjali Yoga Darshan. And somebody asked me, Swamiji, if you are coming from Bombay, please give me. So, I was going to Pune, I just collected that thing and delivered on the gate to a student. I said, hey, your teacher Sharmaji, you give it to him. So I was waiting. Instead of going to the house of Sharmaji, he was going to the hostel. I said, why are you going to hostel? I told you to give it to Sharmaji in his house. I think he may not be there. I said, who asked you to think? This is how the mind plays the tricks. Therefore, it is all very simple, that when our mind is absolutely undisturbed, then the external is beautiful. If the mind is disturbed, everything is ugly, horrible. Therefore, whether we are practicing dharma, or we are practicing yoga, or we are practicing devotion, or we are practicing knowledge, all of them are pointed to the mind only for attainment of one thing, and that is samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity has to be attained. See. Therefore, in Dharma Shastra, what is told to us? Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsati. In the second chapter, the teacher says, Bhagavad Gita, that sukha dukkhe same krutva. In life, joys and sorrows will come. There is no possibility of only happiness, and there is no possibility of only misery. It is not possible. Because they are existing in mutual cancellation. Similarly, labha labha, sometimes we will win, sometimes we will lose. That is the game of life. Jaya jayo, sometimes we will win, sometimes we will not win. Once we understand that life is a cloth which has got two types of threads. One are perpendicular and other are horizontal. So these are crisscross threads going and producing the cloth of life. If there are only one directional thread, it is not a cloth. In the same manner, if life has got only joys and only sorrows, it is not life. Once we understand this basic principle, that life has got both options, then what is to be done? Accept. Therefore, same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva. Thereafter, you live your life as alertly as you are on the battlefield. Okay? When life is told to be lived on the war footing, means what? Many times, when the language is not properly understood, what fun happens, I will tell you. This happened in Sydney. In the Theosophical Society, I was asked to come and give a talk. So they wrote me an email, I wrote topic, so I wrote a topic. Live life on war footing. When I went there, and I explained this one topic, living life on war footing. And after my lecture was over, one elderly gentleman came. He said, Swamiji, these days everywhere there is terrorism, war going on. Why did you select this topic? Now to that wise man, what can you talk? Living life on war footing means living life with such great alertness that you cannot take one moment for granted, is it not? Suppose you are on the war front, will you put a board 10 to 4 lunch break? You can't do that way. There you are 24 hours on duty. In the same manner, spiritual life is lived 24 hours. It is not only go and sit before the Lord, Krishna, 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 over. And then sit for meditation and sit in a particular most pathetic posture and wait when the meditation is over. One person came and told me, Swamiji, I don't believe in the Puranic stories. I don't believe. Not necessary. Do you know why? I said, I don't want to know. Why do I know? I don't believe. I am not the promoter of Puranic stories. Do you know why? Because they write all impossible things. Somebody did meditation for 10,000 years. How it is possible? 10,000 year meditation. I said, okay, not possible, delete it. After 2 days again he came. Swamiji, I believe. I said, okay, believe. Do you know why? I said, I don't want to know, but I want to tell. I said, okay, I will suffer. And then he told, I also wanted to do meditation. I went and sat. And I thought, I have been doing meditation for last 10 hours. And then I saw the watch. It was not even 5 seconds. So with this time scale, yes, those Rakshasas must have done 10,000 years of meditation. See, therefore friends, we become extremely aware of this phenomena, that the mind is constantly running either in the past or in the future. So how do we check it? According to dharma, accept the things as they come without retaliation. Yesterday I told you these 3 things. Interaction is in the form of reaction, or interaction is in the form of action. When the interaction is in the form of reaction, we create dent on our mind. When the interaction is in the form of action, we don't create any impression on the mind. See? Because when you act, you are acting as required. But when we react, it is the vengeance, it is the bitterness. See? The other day one person came and he is working for some organization. He says, Swamiji, I am so fed up, what I should do? I said, that you decide. No wise man gives any decision to others. Those who decide for others, they are otherwise. I said, you decide. I will not tell you what you have to do. No, this is the problem and I don't know what I should do. And I am fed up. I feel sometimes giving and giving what I should do. I said, look here. Whether you stay in that organization or you don't stay, that is not important. Important is what for you are here in this garden. That you decide. Then I told him a story. I said, one day this happened in Vrindavan. There was a great master who has influenced my life 100%. And his name is Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj. He has tremendous impact on my whole thinking, life, everything. So, in every place there are problems. There is no place where there are no problems. So, one of his disciples, he was doing this job of carrying tales. Sir, he does like that, he does like that, he does like that. Maharaj said, why do you worry about it? But he will not listen. Then he has collected data. And then he said, sir, I want to talk to you. And as a witness, he took another man. What I tell about that man is right or wrong. You can verify. And he started, sir, now what I was telling you, now I have got authentic proofs. And he is the witness who will agree or not. He said, before you start, you tell me first, what for you have taken this offer robe? Is that fulfilled? Therefore you have started a second job. See, never have this kind of reactions in the mind. Then I told that young boy, I said, look here, whether you stay in a particular organization or not, it is not important. What is important is, what is the quality of your mind? See, that is important. It is extremely important. Our mind has to be clearly left undisturbed by anything in the world. It doesn't matter whether you go to the temple or don't go to the temple. It doesn't matter whether you chant Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, or you sing a cinema song. It doesn't matter. What matters is what is the quality of mind left behind after you interact with the world. That is important. Once this is recognized as the most important aspect of our spiritual life, then your sadhana will start happening. See? You don't have to struggle there after sadhana. And this is what Patanjali says in Yoga Sutra, that prayatna shaithilya ananta samapatibhyam. These yoga students and yogis go on chanting mechanically without getting an iota of it. See? Asana is defined by Patanjali as sthira sukham asanam. Remaining undisturbed, blissful is called as asana. It doesn't matter what posture you are sitting. See, you take Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, what posture he had. There is no posture what Ramana Maharshi used to sit in that. You take Bhagwan Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what posture he had. See, you take Amritananda Mahima or Ananda Mahima, what posture they had? Nothing. Because being blissful is the asanam. Then the Patanjali Maharshi tells, how do we attain that? Be attentive. The two techniques are given. One is prayatna shaithilya. Whenever we put efforts, we are abnormal. See, those who are unable to hear normally, they have to put lot of efforts. They will sit inside the sound box. And after 5 minutes of putting efforts to listen, they will get tired. And when they will get tired, then they will start looking here and there. I think we should clean this. Now during the lecture, how does it matter? Anyway, I am not hearing. See. Therefore, wherever there are efforts, we are divorced from our natural state. Be very attentive. All our life is nothing but full of efforts. And what are the efforts? One, we want to prove something. Two, we want to prove to somebody, but we don't know what we want to prove and to whom we want to prove. Therefore, instead of living our natural life, we are trying to become somebody. See? And as a result, we get tired in life. So if we want to get out of this effort, take your own everyday example. When you are going to sleep, till we enter sleep, there are efforts, is it not? So, we will turn to the left, to the right, and then make the pillow this way, start the fan, switch off the fan, take the cover, they remember, whether the window is blocked or not, you get so many things going on. Why? No sleep. But once you sleep, then others are worried how to wake him up. See? All efforts gone. Therefore, wherever there are efforts, there is somebody. Be very attentive. Wherever there is somebody, he will be miserable. This is the rule. See? These are the observations. You don't have to study scriptures for that. Simply observe your own life. Now, like many people have this complaint, Swamiji, normally my mind is all right. But whenever I sit for a meditation, terrible thoughts start coming. I get extremely disturbed. What do? Don't do meditation. Simple. No, but they say they should do meditation, then do meditation. But then the thoughts come, they don't do. What do I do about your thoughts? They don't come in my mind. No, 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 please help us. Now be very attentive. Thoughts come in our mind when we have become somebody. Observe this. Don't complain about the thoughts. When on the seat of meditation I become husband and sit for meditation, then all the thoughts about the wife will start gurgling out. When I become a father and sit for a meditation, in the meditation I will be waiting for the phone call. My daughter said she will be giving a call. I hope she doesn't give now. She should give after meditation so that my meditation is not disturbed. It is already disturbed. Now why? Because the father is born. See. So what is all the spiritual practice? Whenever we become somebody, we are reduced to the finite. And therefore Patanjali says, Ananta Samapatti-vyam, discard your identification with the finite and merge in the infinite. That is called as meditation. See? But as we see in the yoga practice, they are constantly struggling with this or that kind of asana and struggling. That is not. Therefore, the goal of meditation, according to Patanjali Maharshi and the Yoga Shastra, is body disidentification, not getting buried under the body. And when there is a body disidentification, the mind is released of the finite and merges in the infinite. Ananta Samapatti-vyam. See? Whenever we possess something, we are carrying the load. Whenever we belong to something, we are released of all the load. Take an example. This happened to a Tamil girl in Sri Lanka. Her sister told me this. Somewhere we met and she was telling, Swamiji, I am a Sri Lankan and I am here, this thing, that thing. And then she started telling her story. Swamiji, I came to India, because we were so disturbed and my sister was killed. So I didn't want to elaborate further. I said, so okay, now you are happy here, now continue what you are doing. Then she could not stop it. She said, Swamiji, I want to tell you, what is that? Once we are going by bus, and some people came and stopped the bus and told, everybody out with your own luggage. So everybody came out. And my sister also got down with one suitcase which did not belong to her. She thought somebody might have forgotten. So doing charity, she collected that suitcase and got down. And those people found out, this is the suitcase they were searching for. So they told, open this suitcase. She said, no, I can't open, I don't have key because this is not my suitcase. Somebody else must have forgotten, therefore I got it. Will anybody listen to this story? They forced open it and they found whatever they wanted. They removed the tires of the bus, like the bangles she was made to stand, and all the 6-7 tires were kept around her and lit. She was roasted alive. What is the reason? She became possessive of that what did not belong to her. Her roasting is a terrible imagination for us. Are we not roasted because of these possessions in this world? And therefore, all of us disown everything in the deep sleep. In the deep sleep, we are Mr. Nobody. Tatra mata amata bhavati, tatra pita apita bhavati, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, in deep sleep, we are neither father, mother, brother, sister, young, old, man, woman, rich, poor, none of this. In short, in deep sleep we are Mr. Nobody, and because we are nobody, no thoughts, all happiness. See? So what we have to do? Externally we interact in such a manner that internal poise is not disturbed. See? Those who become miserable and disturbed because of the outside world, they are their own enemies. To them nobody can help. Very, very important. And we, even parents, don't understand this. I'll tell you one recent experience. There is one girl in US. So she just delivered a second baby. So when I was there, she was in her advanced pregnancy. So she came, we spent some time, had lunch and dinner, and whole day she spent with me. And then when we were going for a small walk, she said, Swamiji, I want to talk to you, but everybody was there, I could not talk, so let's go for a walk. We went. And after 5-10 minutes, we sat somewhere under a tree, and she was telling her story. She said, Swamiji, you asked me, now for my delivery, my mother is coming. I didn't reply you that time, I tell you now. Yes, my mother is coming for my delivery. But I am more tense, not because of the delivery, but because of my mother's arrival. Now see, a young girl, second baby, she must be hardly 32, 33 like that. And her problem was, Swamiji, now my brother's wife, her daughter-in-law, and she do not go well at all. Now what do I do about it? And when she comes to me, she will start digging old stories. What happened during the marriage, how they have done this thing. Now I am busy with my job, with my pregnancy, with my work, and additional to that, this comes and digs all the dead bodies and puts them. Now see, this is the dead body in 1942, this is 43, this is 45. And I have to look at the exhibition of the dead bodies. I get so disgusted. Finally I had to tell her, Mama, I am not your baby who was sucking thumb. Now I have a son who is sucking thumb, okay? Now don't treat me like a baby, okay? Shut up now, enough. You can imagine. When this girl has to say like this thing to her mother, be very attentive. Do you think that the girl is happy to speak like that? She will never be happy. But she has no choice. Now what is the reason? Reason is all the time expertise in earth moving. Dig the past and again bring in the present. Therefore friends, when we are interacting as action, we don't create impressions on the mind. And when we don't create impressions on the mind, we grow wise with every additional experience. Now the next step about the spiritual practice. If this you take up, you will be enjoying every moment of your life. And what is that? See, first, elderly people have this habit. Like, one lady virtually banged me. She said, what is there for you to say? Be happy, poster bana diya, be happy. Get married and show how to be happy. Means what? Getting married is a license to be miserable. So what will I do? Tathastu, may you be more miserable. Who cares? Therefore, let us not react. And whenever we react, we create dent and impressions on the mind. And these impressions become subsequently so strong that our wisdom is covered by this bitterness in life. Therefore, friends, when we are living in this world, let us not allow the impressions to be created on the mind, and this is possible only by one technique, and that technique is we have to learn. We have to learn. In Panchadashi, when Vidyananda Swami refers to Yoga Vasishta, there how much patience is required for taking care of the mind consciously by the spiritual seeker, an example is given. There it is said that if you are asked to remove the waters from the Indian Ocean by dipping a blade of grass into the sea, whatever water comes in that blade of grass, carrying that to the Manas Sarovar and putting it there, again come down, again take the blade of grass, dip into the Indian Ocean, carry that water into the Manas Sarovar and again come back. How much time and patience you will require? Much more than that is the time and patience required for working on the mind. See? That is why Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the 5th chapter, Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So, yoga is purification of the mind. Now, what is the impurity in the mind? Impurity in the mind is likes and dislikes. These two only. No third impurity. So, what we have to do, that when we are living our life, yes, live in your life whatever is required to be lived, but don't allow any impression to be formed on the mind. It is just a question of practice. That is why, when I go to so many places, I remember the name hardly of few people. Earlier there was a time I could remember the names and the phone numbers perfectly of anybody knowing once. One day I just discovered I am collecting unwanted garbage in my head. Why block the memory? So the only thing is, do not allow any data to be stored. Program your laptop in such a manner, after work the data is deleted. Now this is what I have done. See, I work on making, the DVDs etc. on my laptop for the first time when I did about 2 years before. It was a new machine, new software, and for the first time I was doing. So, first copy was made, I was very happy. Then the second was made, I was very happy. Hey, I can do it now, very well. Third I did, and it refused to do. No space. Make the working space, there is no space. What has happened, The new laptop, where from space is space everywhere. I lift, it's not heavy also. I don't know why there is no space. And I spent the whole night. It did not work. Again and again and again. And then I was tired and slept. And morning at 4 o'clock I got up. Suddenly it clicked. I said, hey, after the job is over, where the data is going? And when I opened the program, saw the options, everything is kept. Naturally there is no space. After the job is done, then I again reprogrammed that particular program. Option was, keep the files after the the work is done, the CD is burned for 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 days, or immediately after the work is over, delete the files. And when I did that option, no problem at all. The same thing applies in life. You will start remaining in the utter present. The other day I went to US, and that Amma's name I know because she has eaten my head maximum. So I go to her place for lecture. Her husband, Bhole Baba, absolutely quiet because she talks everything. So he is a listener. So his name I have not registered. Her son, she is enough for both of them. So he also keeps quiet. So when she came to receive me on the airport, we are going, then the problem came. I said, my God, now what is the name of her husband and son? Then I said, Mama, I'll ask you one question. But don't tell this thing to your husband and son, okay? Promise? Okay, Raja, I'll not tell. What is the name of your husband? And what is the name of your son? She told. So after I went home, naturally the son and husband were there. They said, hi doctor, how are you? Because now the name was there. Then she asked me, Swamiji, please tell me, how can you forget? You stayed with me for 1 week. How did you forget? I said, remember, forgetting is the best gift God has given to human beings. But what is to be forgotten, that we don't remember. What is to be remembered, that we forget. So God we have forgotten and the world we remember. What should be done the other way around? Therefore, when we thus start living in this life, learn from every experience. There will be no impression on the mind. This example I gave you last time. By God's grace, you must have forgotten. Example was, if you put your finger as a child on the fire, you will get burned. Then we learn from that experience. That fire burns. Thereafter, throughout life, we don't have hatred for the fire because we have learned from that experience. In the same manner, when we will learn from experiences in the people, we will not develop likes or dislikes for anybody. Therefore, interacting with the world in such a manner that our inner poise is undisturbed is the spiritual lifestyle. See? Otherwise, only mechanically we go on living, all the time disturbed, angry, frustrated. And then we say, Swamiji, like one lady told me in Uttar Pradesh. She says, Swamiji, I have heard your lectures and I want to adopt you as my guru. See what all people talk. I want to adopt you as my guru. I said, I am not available for adoption. Because I am already adopted by somebody. No, Swamiji, don't make jokes. I said, I am not making you up. Then she said, do you know why? I had a guru. And that guru was very Siddha Purusha. He lived for 700 years. I also met that Mahatma. And when he came to our village, we were small children. And the whole village was given Diksha by that Mahatma. His name was Devraha Baba, those who know. He was a great master. So, when the whole village was standing in a queue and he was naked, so some cloth was put on his loin area, and then he was, holding everybody and telling the name in the ear. He said, as a child, as a girl, I was all the time excited. When that fellow with the beard and the jata, etc., will hold and his black and dirty hands, how it will be like that, So with that mood I have gone. What he said, I don't know. But for all practical purposes, he was my guru. And nothing has happened to me. Therefore, I want to adopt you as my guru. And you give me real powerful mantra. I said, look here, Mama. Please understand, Guru is everybody in this world for us if we are ready to learn. Very important. Don't hold on to a person and suffer throughout life. See? Otherwise, you will be persecuted throughout life. Therefore, like Dattatreya Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Mahapurana, I have 2 dozen gurus. How many you have? Why Daritriya in case of guru? Because who is the guru? When we are ready to learn, then the guru is manifested in our heart. Bhagavan Sri Krishna could not be the guru of Duryodhana, Dushasana or Dhritarashtra, because they refused to learn. Therefore, friends, when we are thus learning from our own experiences, then every experience of our life is our guru. See, your whole life will become at peace with yourself. See? A person who is at peace with himself, he alone can be at peace with the whole world. A person who is not at peace with himself, he is enemy to everybody in the world. Therefore, when we interact without, if it is a reaction, we will be destroying the within peace. But if we are interacting without and learning from every experience because you are acting, then alone the within is maintained. And such a person is 24 hours in meditation. Meditation is living in awareness. See, take the life of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. In his life, he says, never there is a time when I am not in tune with the Absolute. This is what Bhagavan Shankara said, Yoga rato va, bhoga rato va, sanga rato va, sanga vihinaha. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam, nandati nandati anandati eva. So what is the meaning of a perfect balance between without and within? Only this much. We are always at peace, cheerful and happy. Therefore, yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Now once we understand the balance between the inner and outer, then we will have no doubts, no questions. Arjuna asked a question in the 6th chapter to Bhagavan Sri Krishna about this. Kindly tell me one thing, I am a military officer. I know only either left or right one day. You can't give an order to the military officer or a military person. By the left, quick march and further find out how is the way and accordingly decide. This is not the order. You have to tell this or that. Arjuna says the same thing. Sometimes you are praising the karma, sometimes you are praising the karma sannyasa. Kindly tell me one between the two what I should practice. Bhagavan said, look here, don't be an extremist. Either we are workaholic, all the time busy, or we are alcoholic. See, both extremes are bad. Therefore, Bhagavan says in the 5th chapter, 2nd verse, look here Arjuna, both are essential for perfect balance in life. Both are important. Getting involved in the world is important, as well as reserving the freedom to withdraw from the world is equally important. I'll tell you one event. Once, I was driving and jumped the red light unknowingly. And exactly that time the police came. Looked at me. Show your driving license. So I showed. Why did you not stop when it was a red light? So I don't know what mood I was. I said, sir, this is a driving license. How can I stop? It is not a stopping license, isn't it? So when I said it is a driving license, no stopping license, although he was a police, he also laughed. Police normally don't laugh, Upper portion is blocked. So he laughed. He said, "Hey man, you made my day today, okay? Next time don't do it." I said, "Thank you sir, I will not do it again." Now see, when driving license is issued, it includes also the stopping of the car, is it not? In the same manner, participation, involvement in the world is the name of life if it is including the withdrawal from the world with total freedom. If we do not reserve this freedom, that before the world has to tell us, "Mummy, will you please shut up?" See? Therefore, friend, it is the wisdom. So this balance has to be perfectly kept. If somebody is only eating and not going for the outing, then if somebody is only loose motion, not eating, life is not possible. Similarly, only keeping awake, not sleeping is bad. Only sleeping and not keeping awake is bad. Only earning money and not spending is bad. And only spending and not earning is equally bad. Life is a perfect balance between participation and withdrawal. See, when we participate, we are without, we are outside. And when we withdraw, we are inside. With this understanding, when we start leading life, we will understand yoga according to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. See, what Bhagavan Sri Krishna defines yoga. Patanjali defines yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha, and most of the students stop there, but it is not complete. In the next sutra, he says, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. When there is a total suspension of thought formation, the seeker is abiding in his own blissful self. So what is the yoga therefore? Yoga is not only suspension of thought, but discovery of the blissful existence. And this is what Bhagavan Krishna in clear terms says. He says, Samvidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sansitam sa nishtayena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa. Yoga is when dukkha sanyoga, when the occasions of miseries come in life, viyogam, we refuse to be miserable. That is called as yoga. Who doesn't have miseries in life? Everyone has. That is a part of our life. We will have something good, we will have something bad. But because of the misery, if we become miserable, we are 100% responsible for that. Be very attentive. Nobody is miserable because of anybody. Miseries may come to us because of somebody. If I am a husband, the cause of my misery is wife. Good. If I am a wife, the cause of my misery is husband. Agreed. If I am nobody, the cause of misery is God. Agreed. But we are miserable by our own choice. If you refuse to be miserable, God will fail to make you miserable. But we are such cooperative spirit. So whenever the miseries come, we receive with great respect. Like I am staying in Sangarajan's place. So he received me with great love, affection, all comforts, everything. Next time what I will think? Let me go and stay there again. Why? Because I was received with great respect. In the same manner, when miseries come to us and we receive with great respect, misery come, I will become miserable with you, okay? Then the misery spreads a word. If you have to go to Coimbatore, go and stay with Tangaraj. Very comfortable. In the same manner, there is a word spread by the miseries. If we have to go to Coimbatore, go to Mr. Gupta. He will be received with all honor. Friends, recognize this principle. See, this Swamiji I was telling you, Akhandanaji Maharaj, one lady who knew Swamiji for almost 20 years or so, she one day went and asked, Maharaji, why don't you do some magic so that more people are attracted? He said, yes, I am doing magic. No, but I don't see. Like, something is materialized and given, or you give some mango and children are born. You don't do like that thing. So you say you are doing magic. Then he said, okay. Do you remember what were you before you came to me? Yes, Maharaj. Now what is your condition? Oh Maharaj, I am so changed, I am so different now. I can imagine how terrible I was before I met you. But now I am totally different. Then Maharaj said, so is it not the most wonder of the wonder where the mind and attitude of the people is changed? Be very attentive. If somebody is hungry, giving food to that person is a great charitable job. Any dumb fellow can understand. If somebody is lame and you give him a crutch or a wheelchair, that is what these lions and tigers club people do. That person is already miserable and they make him more miserable, putting a big board. This was given by us, understand? See, that we understand as a great social service. But we are unable to understand that the words of the great master change the lives of the healthy people. See? Physical unhealthy condition is recognized by anybody. The real unhealthy condition is not physical. It is the mental unhealthy condition. If you see all our terrorist brothers, physically they are perfect, mentally they are perverted. See, therefore friends, the real spiritual practice is striking a perfect balance when we interact in the outer world, what is happening inside. Therefore, what is yoga? Yoga is living in this awareness all the time. Therefore, yes, miseries have come. Then, like in the second chapter, Bhagavan gave a technique. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayina anityaha tantitikshasva bharata. Hey Arjun, any experience which is gathered through the contact of the senses and the world can be of two types, either sukhada or dukkhada, either the giver of joy or giver of misery. Whatever that experience may be, it has got the same story. What is that? It begins in time, it remains for some time, and it is over after some time. Therefore, it is temporary. Because of the temporary experience, to become permanently miserable is not the way of the wise. Then what is to be done? Tantitikshasva bharata. Learn to endure what cannot be cured. Nay, don't endure what cannot be cured. Then enjoy what cannot be cured. See? Once you take this attitude in life, your inner is always maintained. Then you will have no complaint about anything, anybody in this world. I will give an example. Once I was with our Swamiji in Calcutta, in the house of Birlas. And I went for the morning lecture. Swamiji told me to take morning lecture. I went and came back. And then we had to have breakfast. So he was sitting on the main side of the table. One side I sat, other side the host, she sat. And to sit on the chair properly, he has to lift his leg like this. Oh God! Because he is having a diabetes and knee pain. When this happened, you know that Mrs. Birla, she said, Swamiji, even God has to give you this punishment. Why? Immediately Swamiji's mood changed. He said, look here, don't blame God. There cannot be a better place to give pain than in the knee. I put the knee below the table and work above the table. See? No complaint. Most important principle in life. Complaints do not solve the problems. They aggravate the problems. Therefore, if there are difficulties, yes, there are, then go through. There is no way out. When this is not understood, we start reacting. And when we start reacting, the war begins. Inside versus outside. Therefore, Yoga Shastra is nothing but maintenance of a perfect balance between the external world of experience and the inner instrument through which experiences are gathered. When this balance is perfectly done, then we have understood the secret of living life as a perfect balance. And by this, what happens is, when we thus remain all the time and equipoised and undisturbed, we become a source of motivation for others. See? And if we become a source of motivation for others, it is only because we ourselves are inspired. Be very attentive. Expression of a cool, kind, undisturbed mind is inspiration. And expression of the disturbed, dejected, frustrated mind is perspiration. Whenever we are perspired in life, अब जी के क्या करेंगे जब दिल ही टूट गया तो. And you know the tragedy or a joke is, such people live long. They don't die also. अब जी के क्या करेंगे, then die. That also they don't do. Utter failure, even in death, they continue. Therefore, friends, the perfect balance is always being cheerful and happy. And this is done as living life in awareness. So whenever we are interacting outside, what is happening inside? Slowly, slowly, outside becomes secondary, inside becomes primary. And when we discover the source of the mind, the difference between inside and outside disappears. As in deep sleep. Before going to sleep, we are inside the room. After we are in deep sleep, we are inside or outside. We are in Coimbatore or Bangalore. We are on the bed or below the bed. We are man or woman. We are rich or poor. Everything disappears. In the disappearance of the division within and without is God realization. See, मय्येव सकलं जातं मयि सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं मयि सर्वं लयं याति तद् ब्रह्माद्वयमस्म्यहम्. Last time we studied Kaivalya Upanishad. Did we? Yes. This shloka comes in that is what is said. Maybe. When everything is included in this absolute I, there is no problem of any kind. The division in and out is no more valid. Like for a mother, when she looks at her child, the child is outside. When the child is not well, the mother is suffering inside. For her, the outside suffering are enough to give pain inside. For her, the child is outside. Why should I? For her, life is not a matter of fact. Life is a matter of love. Thus, the more we contemplate on this line of thinking, we will see yoga means only this. Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sannitam. And then the next step Bhagavan says, so nishchayena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvidna chetasa. Now what is meditation? Meditation is firm commitment to live happy is called as meditation. So nishchayena yoktavyaha, refuse to be miserable. But normally for us, meditation means sitting in a most unenvious posture and taking in the mala in the hand. Om Shram Jaram Jaram Shram Jaram Shram Jaram. There that mala get entangled and then like a thermometer we do jhatka. Om Shram Jaram Jaram Shram Jaram. And then we imagine, since long I am doing, why it is not so much only? Om Shram Jaram Jaram again. After everyone we see how many is remaining. Don't struggle. The more you remain in awareness, your attention will be, let there be no disturbances on account of anything. Then this world will be looked upon like a mega live cartoon show. And for that, what is the sadhana? One simple. Nishchayena yoktavya. You make a firm decision. From this, don't say like that, from tomorrow I will be happy. You can never be. From this moment onward, refuse. You have dissolved the difference between in and out. When the difference between in and out is dissolved, there is but one absolute, undivided, conscious, blissful experience of being. That is called as God realization. Thereafter, life is played as a game of life. थोड़े गम है, थोड़ी खुशियाँ, ये जीवन है. This is how it goes on. Therefore, within and without, partition is to be removed. When this partition is removed, there is but happiness, bliss, joy. Therefore, sanishchena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvidna chetasa. And the last word, anirvidna chetasa. Don't give up. See, how much we should have sincerity and commitment. The best example I can think, you all must have seen in your own houses. A child first time starts learning how to walk. First time he gets up, wants to walk, falls down. Because he falls down, he does not give up. See, imagine a child who started walking down and fell and therefore refused to walk. It has never happened. So he holds on to some or the other support. He discovers his own techniques. No child is told that when you have to get up, pull the sari of mummy and get up. He will do that. He his own technique. Similarly, when anything which can support him, he will hold and start walking. In the same manner, let us not give up. And when you want to be first rank holder in the university, what is the requirement? Normally what reply we get is, we should study hard, is it not? But that is the wrong reply. The right reply is, if you want to be first in the university, you should appear for the examination. Then only you can be first or you may not be first. In the same manner, every additional difficulty and problem that we face is an examination. And then you come to know, really, under this condition also, I refuse to be miserable. So you graduate one more stage. So, sanishthena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa, never give up. Thus, the within and without balance is perfectly attained and we have completed the yoga abhyas. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.